Hey everybody, this is Jechta Plays. Another video about the game room. This game room that I made was just for what I said in the first video. Is that the game room is of course not really based on my own room, but I really wanted to have something fun for the live streams, so people can enjoy and see like, hey, wait, is that room made in Dreams? What? Um, so I'm not going like in the first video. I showed a little bit around the room, like stuff what I made. I forgot like a few high points. The chair, like I haven't really shown the chair yet. The chair has like kind of okay detail. I think this is like a chair that I'm sitting on at the moment right now. Even though mine is broken. So I can't really move my chair anymore, otherwise I will fall down. I need to order a new one. But this is just the same chair that I'm sitting at. And also, what I didn't show the last video was the wall behind here, the brick wall. There I put in this particular scene. I put some. I will just call it bump. I know that bump mapping doesn't really exist in Dreams because it doesn't work like that. But I don't know all the terms like what you would say like if it's in Dreams. So I'll just keep with sticking saying bump mapping. I made like a bump mapping effect on this particular wall. I haven't really have it yet on the wall that it's out there. It's like it's released. You can use this wall yourself for your own creations. If you go to my Dreamiverse profile, Citroen85, or search for Jechta Place, you will find it as well. I think. Um, but like if you're like searching for the brick wall, you also will find this one, but without the bump mapping. Disclaimer: I will make I will going to remake the walls eventually. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to add up this eventually in the real in the release version. All right. So how did I make this room? Well, first off, I'm going to exit this one, and we're not going to save it. So don't save, and we start new, start fresh, and we start with a new scene or element. I'm going to remove the first plane that they always give you. So we basically have a clean canvas going on. Okay. I'm not going to sculpt in this video because like if I have to resculpt everything, that would be a quite long video. And maybe have to sculpt a few stuff like tweaking stuff here and there. I did that as well with the game room, because not all assets aren't really there yet or released yet, so I had to make them still. Um, okay, so what I did, I first start. The only thing that I really didn't have made myself, and I forgot to tell you guys, and I don't want to get credits for that one, is okay, the of course the medium molecule sounds with the switch lines. I haven't really showed you this one yet, but I will. But there's something that I can't have credits for, and I need to scroll a little bit. These are all my own assets. I think it's this one. So before, oh, um, so before continue, I use this walnut wooden floor from Red App 1994. I haven't really made a wooden floor myself yet. I really will at some point because I really want to have like basically as much as possible my own assets so I can reuse them in different ways if I have like larger projects. Um, and this is also like the one that's like quite a lot termed up. Could be more, even like 175 is not much, but for an asset, that's a lot of term ups. So a one wood floor is like one of the like the floors that I really like to use. So this one I have to credit this person because it's not made by myself. So I use this floor. And what I did, like before I'm placing this floor, this is also a tip for you guys. Every like especially if you're going to use my own assets, um, start with putting grid on. And I will tell you, you can put grid off later on, but always start with grid on. And the reason why is because it will be so much easier to put things on later on if you started with grid. So put grid on and place the floor. There we go. And we have like 3% and 2% gameplay memory. That is quite a lot already, but that's because the wood is actually made out of like a lot of single. I think, how many is that? Oh, it doesn't show. That's great. Why is it not being shown? 108. 108 pieces are inside this one particular tile in the floor. That is quite a lot. Can this be reduced? Yes. um, this is something that what I'm trying to say. If I what I said in the earlier video is when I'm looking at assets, I look at like is this convenient? Is this like good? And like this is like one of my favorite wooden floors made in Inside Dreams. And if I look at like is it thermo friendly? It's not. So I really want to recreate not recreate this one, particularly this one, but I want to create a floor that doesn't use 108 single pieces. I want to create a floor that would say maybe the half, maybe 50 or something like that, or maybe 25. I think I can like downscale this to 25. Um, and but with the same stuff because like what you can do is just like make one make for example this like maybe this square so it repeats again. So I would say like till here or something like one made out of one block, and then copy paste them next to each other, but with the same tiles going on, but everything is then painted instead of loose objects. A tip, a tip, a tip. Okay, but we're not going to do that. The thing is that what I'm maybe going to do, can I do it in this? Yeah, I can do. Is I can put the shiny on a little bit more. Um, not too much. I don't want to like do it like this because then it will be very yeah, if it's on like if it's like wet or something. But I think 35 isn't perfect perfect reflection for this. There we go. All right, so now we have this one, and we can just copy this. Um, the thing is that the person who made this tile um, didn't really build it on grid, sadly enough, as you can see. I think he built it maybe on a very small grid. So if we, okay, he still built it on the grid, but on he did it on the uh 8.5 grid. I don't know how to say that in English, but he still did it build it on the grid, but not on the one-on-one stuff. I would say do try to make assets on a one-on-one grid as much as possible, so it's easier to connect things together for someone else if they're going to use it. Another tip. Okay, I need to turn off the hover effect. I always find that very annoying. And if you don't know how to do that, it's in here, hover effect. Like if you don't want to see all those selection going on, just turn this off. I'm glad the option is there because I often get annoyed by it. So now we have like a really clean looking like floor. I think 2 tiles is enough already for the room. I think maybe I need one more. I think we need like this. I think we need one more. Um, Oh wait, one sec, guys. And you will see that like the oh, that was the wrong way. You will see that like it adds up a lot of gameplay memory. And when you saw my other, I think it's showed in other video about my turmo, and you could see that my gameplay was 30%. That 30% is basically because of the floor. So I really need to make it eventually to make turmo friendly. All right, so now we have the floor, right? So this is like our base, our base. How we're going to start things. Always start with the floor. It's easier to build up from there. And now we're going to go to my creations, and in your case, you're going to my creations as well. But then go to, or you can use, of course, different assets from everyone else. You don't need to have my creations, but if you want to, yeah, to make kind of the same room. So we're going to. I think I need to scroll a little bit further. There we go. Go check my housing assets. I have here made a collection with my housing assets. I will add up way more than you see here now. There aren't really much in here yet, but I think we have like a lot to start with. So we have a floor. That means we need some wall as well. And I have like a few different types of wall going on. There are some very simple, ugly ones, like large brick window. I don't know why I have it in here. This one I'm not so happy with as well. I think I'm going to change that I'm going to like change it eventually. But these are just like more like background stuff. If you have like buildings in the backgrounds. And like these ones, the small brick walls, those are basically the real life ones that you can see like in yeah, in buildings, stuff like that. So, and I feel like a small brick one too, or just a small brick wall. And I think I need to go for this one. Don't really know what the difference was with the other one. Need to check. I think this one is a little bit bigger than the other one. Okay, this one is have different. Uh, okay, what is the difference in this? Um, okay, I think that if I look quickly, I think like the difference is the starting and of course the background, but the starting point of the bricks, and I think it's also less whitey going on. So we're going to delete this one, and now we can just like copy paste the wall next to each other, and I will do three um, up and three on the sides. There we go. And and this is kind of what I mean with building on stuff on grid. Because like if you're building stuff on grid, you will see that the tiles can perfectly fit together, and you don't, of course you will see like eventually if you zoom out and you have like a lot of like walls going on. You will of course see some repetition in the wall itself. Um, that's basically because because you make some kind of texturing over the object, and if you're copying the texture a lot of times in there, you will see repeatedness. What do people do in game design? Because if you look at like the 90s, the 2000s, like till 2010 maybe, if you're looking at those games, you will see the same like detail, the repetition, the repeating in the textures. But what the game design is now doing is they make different layers. So they have like one texture on the wall and they put another layer on it. Um, uh, so it looks let's say I want here like a broken, that like the paint is going fall off, or that is like painted something over here, maybe graffiti, or maybe some bricks are loose. So to break the repetition, the repetitive texturing, basically that's what game designers do at this moment. Okay, but we're not doing that in Dreams, or not in this video. So and we don't really need it because it's just a room. So I'm going to place this particular wall here, and we're already noticing that the floor here is like very large comparing to this one. And now we don't really know what is the correct size to work with. To continue doing that, I always, and this is something I always do, or at least trying to do this always, I put a character inside my creation. And that mean like the puppets, like the standard blank Minimolecules puppet I put into the scene to check if the one-on-one situation is correct. And then we already noticed something that the floor this person made is not one-on-one. You can directly see it. So my wall, and I don't want to say like shoulder shoulder tapping myself, but the wall is um like already one-on-one base. Like this is basically how brick how broad the bricks have to be if you are standing next to it, right? So this is what I mean, what I said earlier in the other video. Make something that makes sense in proportion and stuff like that. And we're kind of figuring out that the floor that the person made, the lovely floor, it's a really great floor. It's too big. So instead of making these things bigger, because please don't do that, because then it will make yourself, it will be harder eventually. So we need to like adjust this to the right size at until there is a point of my likings, and I was like, okay, this is like the right size that we need for our floor, and I think this is quite okay. Um, that also means maybe we don't need a third one. I think. Uh, I think we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, so there we go. So now everything is like one-on-one situation, right? And I'm just going to bring this puppet a little bit more down. Okay, I have to disclaimer. I have to say that sometimes if you're opening my assets, they are in the same way that the person did before. That is because yeah, I don't have always time to fix stuff, and maybe this person is the same as me. So I can't really blame this person. It was not a blame to him because I'm doing it myself sometimes. But I really try not always doing that. But for instance, like my PlayStation 4 console is a one-on-one copy, right? You don't need to scale it up or down. 4%, by the way. Not. I thought it was like a 5%, but it's 4%. So that's actually good. But for example, I also made like a desktop, and you can see it's not one-on-one, right? So, and that is because like in the original file, in the original creation, this comes from a scene that I made, my real life room. I recreated my real life room. I can show that maybe later in another video. But that is not always like a one-on-one situation. So I really need to go back into the original sculpt, put a character in there, and like shrink it down till it's the right size. But it is still the right size. We only need to scale it down. So I mean, it's not like a big of deal, but we do need to scale it down, and it's also not really on the right grid as well. So fixing that later. We don't need a desktop, so we're not going to need this one. We don't need to need this one. We only need to have the keyboard one, just 1%. Not using much of the graphics term on there. What else have we in the scene? We also have in the scene a door. Now this door is also not one-on-one, as you can see. Let me switch. The door is two-sided, so it's like on both sides the same, but we need to scale it down till it makes sense. So we put it close to the puppet. And maybe one more. I don't know. Like the doors, like here in Holland, I don't know how it is in England, but like the doors here are 2 meter and 20 centimeters. The thing is that I don't really know like how tall the puppet is. I think they'll go for an average length of 1 meter 70. But that's like an average, or but yeah, here in Holland, it's like an average height is 180. So yeah, I don't know. So it's a little bit like sometimes like it's a little bit like guessing, right? Like it's like I don't really know what minimal Q did as size of the proportions, and it's always a little bit tricky to do so as well. But I think that this is maybe the correct size. I can be wrong. Okay. What else? We have the window. We also need a radiator, the heating stuff. Also, not on one-on-one situation. I will fix that. But we can close it down to a one-on-one if we shrink it down, of course. But this is basically what I mean. Like, I still need to fix stuff myself. So, um, just going for the right amount of. I think this is correct. Like, the radiator is not really that particular high, so this should be the height. And also, I need to turn this around. Am I saying that correctly? Oh, I see something that. Oh, I forgot about this. The thing is, why I have it because like here I have here the button. Let's do it like this, um, for fun. Let's do it like this. Let's pretend there's some like stuff going on here inside my house instead. Um, so we have this, right? Okay, what else? I hope the video is probably going to be very long, but I hope it's easy to look at, listen at. So we have here some blinds. Now we can swap them from left to right. It depends on how you want to have the blinds going on. So let's pretend there is a window going to be here. And then what else? We have, of course, a light switch. Sadly enough, this is not made on the grid. I have no idea why I haven't done it that. Um, Normally I don't do it. So I'm using precise move, and then I can put it on grid again. So there we go. I really have no idea, and it's also not the right size as well. I have no idea why I didn't made it on grid. I have no clue. Okay. We'll keep it for that for now. Okay, what else can we still bring? Of course, the game chair. Now, I made 4 different versions of the game chairs. It's just like the difference is just the colors. Let's we first pick the blue one. Let's pick a red one this time. The chair is not one on one, or is it? Oh, it's hard to see. I think I did the chair one on one. Yeah, the chair is one on one. Phew. Okay, the chair is one on one, so we don't need to do stuff with the chair here. So let's put the chair in a good direction. It needs to be a little bit more up as well. There we go. And now we have the chair going on. I'm glad we did the chair on one-on-one stuff. All right, that is it. What else do we have? Or what we can put? We can put my kitchen. Of course, the lamp. Well, the lamp should be one-on-one as well. And it's perfectly on grid, so that's great. And I want to have the lamp here. The lamp is one-on-one, and it's really weird because like sometimes I have like made stuff one-on-one, and sometimes I didn't. The desk that I'm actually sitting at as well from the famous corner desk you see always. Um, um, is also 101, so you can change this. What I did with the streaming was just I was just using this side, and then the camera is going like this, right? So that's what I did. And I also changed the color of the whole table as well. I made it a little bit more wider. So we have this. As you can see, we're slowly getting there already, right? We're already slowly getting there to my room. And okay, what we need a TV, of course. The TV is 101. This is like how big my television is. But what I did with my game room, I just like scaled it to like half. Um, so like it's a smaller version for the TV, and it's also I don't know for a gaming room it's fine. Um, what else? What else? Of course, a controller, but that's not really. Um, it's like it's a remix of an existing one. Um, let's see what else. Did I use something else still? Oh right, the EU wall socket. Now this is like an EU wall socket. Very low poly as you can see. Like this is like nah. I mean like you can make it high poly if you want. Like if you're cutting the circles out here and make it more low, high poly. Um, I don't know why I'm saying poly because like it's not poly count or a polygons I mean, but I mean like high detail. I really need to say I need to learn to say high detail. And so if you want to like do high detail in that stuff, just remix my stuff. You are allowed to do it, and of course you're allowed because they are all remixable. Um, Also this one is not on grid as well. Stupid me. So I'm just going to turn this around. Oh, and press triangle. And if you press triangle, it will snap on the grid. Very lovely. I think that this comes from um, like a wall like this. So it's still been made on grid, but when I was saving this one, it was not like on normal grid size anymore. And I put it here. Also, it's not on the right um, correct size either. So you have to. One sec, guys. Uh, Let me use the grid snap again. I mean, like you don't really have to do it like this. Like if you really hate using grid stuff, because I know that some people don't like it, but I do it, and I do it for a lot of reasons to keep, especially for if you want to build a room or a house or anything. Um, and this was all with items that I already made. I can do maybe another stream or not another stream, but another video where I'm going to create everything from scratch, or at least that will be quite a long video. That will be hours of video material because like I will create like I can create fast, but if I want to be more precisely, that will take some time. But that's future things. Okay, what else? What else? What else? We have a small radio going on. Also, not on the correct size, so we need to change that as well. There we go. And I think that was it. I think the rest I built from myself. I don't think I used anything else anymore. Um, and this kind of stuff comes later on for if we want to like fill up the. Okay, there's something else that I want. Oh, of course, my painting. My painting, of course. And I made a three-part painting, so it's like it's a one. You can or use it as a whole painting if you like it. Um, but you can also use it as um, can I go? Uh, there you go. If you don't like it as a whole painting, you can just like delete maybe the ones you like. You can also go for this one. Um, Maybe it's fun if we're going for this one this time. I also had a plant, my lovely plant, not the most ugliest plant I ever made. But we're going to put this here. Also, I think this is 101 because like it's a very big one, but I'm going to make it smaller. So it's more like yeah, a room plant basically. I'm going to change the door and the switch for the door. We're going to put there as well. All right, I think we have everything what we needed. Now only we have to create stuff ourselves. So I will go to modes, and then I will go to scope modes, and we're going to make a wall. So before we stamp anything, press hold L1 and square, so we can change the size of the scopes. And I'm going to use one scope, and then cut it. I don't know how big I'm going to do it, to be honest, but for now, let me reduce this one. We're obviously not going to be correctly in the like if you're not hitting the door, it's fine. We will do that later on. We will fit the door later on. And then we need to close this, let's say till here or something. And then we can stamp it. This is pretty high. I mean, like, I don't think any room is this like this particularly high. But oh well. Let's stamp it in there. That's 30%, and that's because it's a little bit too high. So we're going to reduce it a few times. We're already at 30%, but that's like a lot of stuff haven't been really. We're also using a puppet still. The PlayStation is still. No, PlayStation not really using much. I think the stones in here were using. Yeah, see. I forgot to reduce this in the original file. I'm sorry. If you're using one of my ugliest plans, make sure you're reducing these stones in here. I don't think that it will do much here. Well, 2%. Um, oh well, we were going to fix that later on, so don't worry. Even though the graphics will be getting high, we can't really get um avoid it because we're going to make a as realistic possible scene as possible. Okay, so we have our thingy. Now we need to cut it. Um, so with that, I'm going to repick the square thing, and now we need to make the same size as the door, but a little bit over it because it's going to be a post. Um, if you know what I mean. Uh, because we need to have like a border, like a post around it. I think like this, and I think we can't go one straight because that will be going too much. Okay, we need to. I'm going to stamp this one, but I still need to fix it, so I'm going to grit. Sorry, to stretch and then grit, and then lower the. I think it's a little too far. This should be it. All right. So now we have this. instead of going like doing something about here, I'm going to create another cube. And this time, if you hold press, let me. I'll go first back to 1. So what you do is just press hold L1 and square. You get the option if you're using, of course, a controller. And here you have an option with hole. And I don't use this much often. Um, I'm not sure. I heard it like also that it's also not. I think that cutting is still cheaper. Um, that's something I can't really give an answer to unless someone from Q says like, no, this is not cheap, or maybe someone else who is also like very dedicated. No, what are you doing, Jechta? That's not cheap at all. Oh well, it's not. If it's not, then you can always do it in your own way. But I always did it like doorpost. I always do it stuff like that because it's a little bit easier for me for some reason. Um, all right. I only don't know. Um, wait, let me stamp it in the world because I need to have lower grid for this. The only thing that is quite a thing is that yeah, you need to know like where you want to get the doorpost eventually. Oh, there we go. I mean, this side is not really important because we're not getting here, but if you're planning to make different rooms after this one, be my guest to do that. Um, Maybe I will do it myself at some point. Okay, we need to do one. Oh, that was the wrong. I think like this seems about right. And then we need to. Okay, I think this is it. And now we only need to bring the door closer to the post and put it in place. There you have it. Now you have a door. And of course and that we can also paint this in a different color. Let's say black and do a little bit of shininess because it's plastic, at least in my home. Um, let's make it a little bit more darker. Not too much. Don't go for pitch black or anything. Now we need to have the wall as well to be white. And we're slowly getting there. We're slowly getting in the same scene what we had before. Maybe put the switch into the wall. There we go. I think that's the correct place if you're going to walk inside the room. Um, there we go. All right, and now we only need to like. And before I'm doing that, I always go back at the normal square things, and we're going to copy this one, basically. And this is funny because I I think it's maybe cheaper to start a new wall and then cut stuff out. But I did it like this, like in the other room. But I think it's a little bit cheaper to do it to make a complete new wall. But oh well, it doesn't matter. It's going to be one scene anyway, so we're going to close this here. And this time we're going to use this opening for our window, right? So, and the thing is that maybe it's better to use a new sculpt because then you can easily like change stuff in different detail without worrying that we getting exceeded over the. Okay, so now we all need to know like how big and how tall is the window going to be. I think that this is the right size. So we're going inside this code and we're going to make it correct. So we're going to put this down, but always leaving a little bit gap around it so we can use the post. I hope it's called post. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Yeah, it seems about right. Let me bring this a bit more to its position so we know what we're doing. And now we can bring this a little bit closer. And this one a little bit more up again. This one a little bit more down. Okay, we still need maybe to tweak that one eventually. And now we can just basically. Oh, wait, no. We still have the shape going on here, so there we go. And oh, right, I always forget that. So now we have the post. I always try to look if things are the way how I want it. Uh, okay, I think do we need this one for? Yeah, we do. This is like just like tweaking to your own likings, and I think I sort of have it. Uh, okay, I guess like this, and yeah, it's not really. There's still like a little bit of gap here going on. Oh, wrong one. It's too far. There we go. And now we don't need to like change. Oh, I, oh wait, this is now in one sculpt, huh? Oh, oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess for whoops, I made a mistake, guys. It's one sculpt. Oh well. But yeah, I thought that I was. I don't understand. I thought I was like, I should have done this. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can't start something and then not like doing it properly. We can't do that. Uh, we're almost 40 minutes in, so I'll try to hurry a little bit. But then again, like if you want to have like two-sided in your room, if you want to like also like decorating outside at some point, yeah, make sure that it will look good on both sides. Can we extend the middle part still? No, we can't. So it's going to be a very small border this time. Okay, and then we make this black and with a little bit shiny going on. All right, so that's our window. We got our window, and let's do the television stands as well. So we're going back into edit modes and going in 101 stuff here. And boop. So let's make a nice standard for our. You can do it like on various and different ways, depending on yeah on what you want basically. Uh, oh, I always go wrong. 8. I think 8 is fine for tweaking. So this is like the back side of the TV desk thingy. And I mostly just do stuff like on feeling. So if I like see something that I'm like, okay, this should be the size of everything or not. As you can see, this is not the right side. I'm just going to resize it. And since we have started as sorry, my imp is moving away, shifting. But mostly I always do things on my feelings and how things should go. Okay, I think this is a perfect. Yeah, this is a perfect one. And we'll make the bottom as well. Come on, Impy. Stay with me. Okay. It's not really that perfect, as you can see. It's not like it's... And that's because, like, we scale it up and down, so... Yeah, maybe what we can do... Instead of scaling it up and down. Oh. I don't know why my imp is doing funny at the moment. Uh, we're just going to use this in the original grids. Come on. Think like that. And it should now fit better because we stayed in the same grid stuff. There we go, see? So the thing is that we didn't like scale it up or down, so we kind of staying in the same grid. So be careful, like that's like don't scale things up and down if you want to make stuff very precisely, like what I did. Now we just need to bring it back. There we go. And we can use the same one over here. And yeah, you're basically building your own TV standards. That's basically what you're doing. And we place that over here for some reason. Huh? Why is this one taller? Huh? That's weird. Okay. Oh, I have no idea what happened. I think for some reason I upscaled it. I don't know. And then we have like another one, and this one is going to be in front a little bit. But we're going to size it down. Think around here. And we're not doing it like this, but we put it under the whole thing like that. And the reason why that's basically how they normally look like. Maybe it's. I mean, there's can maybe put it more down. To be honest, like there's really a lot of space. Um, that doesn't matter. But yeah, if you're doing um like designing stuff like furniture, yeah, always think of like how you want to do how it looks. And if you don't know how it looks, like if you don't like how a furniture or a particular furniture is looking like, you can always go on Google and search for a picture and use that picture and yeah, try to recreate it or something, or make your own touch out of it as well. There we go. And since it's just like a very simple design, right? Like it's just like wooden planks. Even though we didn't like put any um, what is it called? Texture on it. All right, done. I think I can put this one a little bit more down. Um, we can stay like this if we want. But I think it's maybe better if everything is just like one height and everything. There we go. And now we can select everything. There we go. Bring it back. Group it. So we have a group. Put the TV on. Put this thing on. Put my PlayStation inside. It should fit. Yep. Oh, I forgot this one. So put it where you belong, my friend. There we go. You can also make some like standards under it, but this is just like a very simple or a simple TV desk thingy. I'm going to fix that later on. Don't worry. All right. Uh, make it a little bit white. There we go. So we have that fixed as well. Okay. So how do you make? Let's finish this whole room quickly. Um, so how are you going to make a realistic looking room, right? So we're going to do that. Okay, we are a little bit high in the graphics memory. Like I said, we can always reduce stuff if we want uh, to make it more bearable. This one can also be reduced quite a lot, since they're all individual items. Okay. But still having the detail, right? So we have here. Let me put keyboards on my desk. Oh yeah, what we also did, and this is like something really fun to do. So everything inside this room, I'm going to reuse now. So if I want to have a bookshelf, I'm going to pick this one, put it out of the group, put it on top of the TV. So we have kind of the same thing here. And even though like this bookshelf is, I don't want to have it the same size, so I'm going to resize it. And the thing is that we'll be using stuff is that we don't add up as much graphics what we want. Well, we do, but um, because it's a clone, and if you're going to change the clone, it will always add up graphics um, eventually. But well, it doesn't really matter in this case. But this is really fun um, to do because like we can really like reusing stuff, and that's so fun. So we have like a bookshelf, but we don't have anything to hold on. Now, what I did um, with my other scene, with my game room, I used this. um, I used I used this one and get out of the group, so we don't have that in the group anymore. These were my standard holders, the bookshelf holders. So this is what I did, guys. This is the magic behind stuff. Using completely different things for different situations. And the only thing I did was if I go inside this sculpt and stretch it out like that, doing the same like that. That's it. And then copy paste it to the other side. And now you have a bookshelf like planting on the wall. You can even like if you're having OCD just like me, and that rhymes, you can also make it more that it's actually been placed on the wall. I think we need to go one more. I haven't really did this in the other room to be honest, even though I have OCD, but I think we need to have a smaller. Uh, Come on, a bit. Think like this. There we go. So we only need to copy this one. Let me go back to the little bit normal grid because I know that um, if you have like a very small grid, your imp is always trying to go in different directions. There we go. All right, so now it actually looks like it's placed on, and you can even do more detail. I can even say like, hey, I want some like stuff going on as what uh, I did here. I think I'm still doing it like this, to be honest. So like here you can see some buttons, like actually screw drive things. I mean, like I can use this if I want, but I mean, like you're not going to see it from that far away, unless you're actually going to walk inside the room and you want to have that particular detail. Go ahead. All right, so this is like a room. We don't need to have like on the other side as well. I'm just going to reuse the wall. because why not? Without the window, of course. I think the best way is maybe to like make one room, um, or like make unique walls, so we don't add up a lot of graphics. But I really want. I'm over like 1 hour in this video, and I really want to like wrap it up. So what are we going to do? We're going to play around with lightning, and lightning is so important to make stuff realistic. Um, to do that is we're going for the gadgets, and then we're searching for. Let's see what here. We're searching for light, and we're going to use spotlight, and we're using spotlight as sun. So we're not going to use actually sun gadgets in this scene. Let me turn off the grid. Uh, so what I did, I just like placed the spotlight around there, and you can already see that the sun, or sorry, not the sun, but the light is already coming in, right? So it's already like entering the window, and like there's like blinds going on still, and you can already see that it's already going to I won't say realistic yet, but it's already close, right? It's we're getting there. So what we do is we're going into this option here, and I'm going back to the scene and have it aside of me so we can see what we're actually doing. Sunlight, if you want to have like sunlight in inside a creation, always think of the situation where the sun is, what the sun is doing, and what time slot it is. So you always have to think about that stuff. For instance, if you want to make like daytime, the sun at daytime is always the highest and the brightest at his moment, right? Because like it's like, let's say it's like 1 o'clock in the midday. That is like the sun is almost at its highest point. I think 3 p.m. is the highest. I think, if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that 3 p.m. is the highest point that the sun can go or can reach for us on Earth, and after that it's going of course into until like dawn time. But it really depends on what your mood is going to be, what your setting is going to be, daytime, nighttime, morning, dawn, yeah, whatever you want for in that situation. In my case, I'm going for daytime, so let's say it's like 2 p.m., maybe 3 p.m., so it's already like in the midday. That means that the sun is at his like full power in the source, right? So we have to turn the brightness up, and I think in my other scene I used 333 brightness. This, I'm not saying that this is um, the correct amount of brightness, because like it really depends on how far you have put the spotlight. It depends on the situation still, where you are, and etc. etc. So don't don't take this for the only solution in there. You can of course put the um like the beam angle. Like, are you going to go for a particular spot? Are we going for a brighter spot? Which you will see that if I do this, you can see that like it's the around the edges of the room is also getting lit up, and this is like, I think it's an engine thing problem. Because like if spotlight hits a wall and there's another wall in between, which are like close to each other, but lightning, like the shadow in dreams, is like not so powerful. I mean, like, right? So it is really already really a powerful tool in general, yes, but like if you want to avoid lightning, if you want to like avoid that the lightning is coming through the walls, and if you don't know what I mean, I will move my imp over it so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what I did now, I would just like put the beam very highly, but that's because like the sun hits, or basically the spotlight hits the wall here, like it's like it's covered the whole wall, and the engine cannot like hold that. It thinks like, okay, there is something still going on. So this is too much of a beam. So make sure you're fixing stuff like this. So to avoid that things aren't really looking realistic or really looking well and stuff like that. So yeah, so keep that in mind. You can of course like put it in a particular range until it's fine, until it's good. I think that this is fine, and we still have no problems with the surroundings. So I guess that is okay. But yeah, this is just basically like what is your, and of course if you have shadow turning on and off. You can also put like this kind of stuff, like putting images over the spotlight. You can use this if you want to have like pretend there is a tree outside or a blind. In this case, my blind is in the way. So you can make it like that there's actually like something blocking along the way. You can also blur it so it's not so like deep in the shadow. But yeah, you can pretend like things are actually in front of, or like in the window that's blocking the sunlight directly coming in. I didn't do it with my original room, because I kind of like the fall of the sun going into the window, fall into the TV. Even though I think I have the TV. Let me oh, let me use this, and I think I have my TV a little bit like side placed. There we go. So the sunlight is also like falling in. Then again, um, the other thing I did was, and I had to do this to get the effect, is like increase the blinds. And I'm not sure if we already are there. Kinda. Like you can already see that like the blinds are also now affecting a little bit of the sunlight. Yeah, just play around with this whole stuff. Maybe we can put the beam a little bit like uh the spotlight a little bit closer. So it's more directly like focusing on the window instead of everything on everything else. Um, but yeah, just like like try things out to get a good looking sunlight direction going on. The thing is that what I'm seeing here is something that I don't like, and that's like, and I think that this particular shadow is from the post, and I was already afraid of that. Oh wait a second. Maybe we can easily fix this. I now see suddenly we haven't really hit. Can we fix this? No, I think we need to have a bigger because I think now it's gone. No, it's not. Which one is it? Okay, so it is the blind still. Uh, kind of curious which one is kind of curious which one it is now. Okay, I don't know. I don't know exactly what is causing it. I think it's still because of the. Let me see what we can do. Not really. Not really. Um, even though it gives. Okay, there we go. There we go. I will keep it like this. That was fine. I think it's because like I put so many detail in the blinds that it actually hits the smaller blind parts, and he thinks that okay, that's a shadow, and yeah, so like play a little bit around with that stuff. I think you'll fine like this. So yeah, this is basically how you do it. But we are not done, and we are 1 hour and 10 minutes in it, but we're not done. There's something else that we still have been need to be doing is sunlight. This is basically like if your room is not being living, like if there's no one inside in this room, and just the sunlight is like going inside through the window. Um, so we're going to create an extra light source to lighten up the rest of the room, and I'm going to put this in place as well. Um, so go back to the gadgets and get another light source, but this time we're not going to use a spotlight, but we're going to use a diffuse light. And a diffuse light is just lighting up everything around it. So you can use this as if you're going to switch on a light, like standard like lamps things here. You can like use it like that. But this is just basically yeah the Omni light, and I have a little bit like a love-hate relationship with diffusing lights, especially inside dreams, because like um, fogginess in or around the diffuse light is a thing, sadly. Um, and I don't really know if they can fix it. It's not that it's like that always like hard to see. Like if we are we still having the character? No, we delete the character. Let me grab the character to show you a little bit. But in some sort of situations where you come across with uh, there we go. Like in some sort of situation, you can see then where like the light actually is because there's like a fogginess around it. Now, luckily, it doesn't really seem like at this point, but if you like using in some sorts of different situations going on, um, I think it's in my forest scene where you can see it like kindish where like there's fogginess around the light sources, and I can't fix it. I try to fix it a lot, um, as much as possible. I can't, but oh well. But like it's a little bit blurry. That's what I mean. Like it's like the light source, and I think it's just because of the engine itself that the flex around because it's all made out of flex, I think, or I don't know. Um, but I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is like a little bit like flashy looking, blurry looking around the light source. That's my only, maybe one of my only complaints I have in dreams, is about the lighting. But okay, but we have to steer the boat with what we have. So I'm not even sure if that is an expression. But yeah, I'm just going to use light source, and we can place the light source basically like above, so we can use it as a ceiling. So if you're going into play mode, you actually think that there is like lightning source, like um, bouncing like the walls and stuff like that. So like it's the sun hits the window, reflects the wall, and that's basically the only light doing. You can also make like a real like ceiling light. What I did as well. Also, this one isn't working one. um, if you're walking like close here, you can turn this on as well. So yeah, that like lightning. Please, people, use lightning in your creations, because lightning will change the whole situation to become more realistic, to make it more atmospheric. Like if you're using Halloween is coming pretty soon, so what you have to do is like yeah, play around with light stuff, and if you want to make it like a very dark scene, don't use actually dark as black, but using always darker blue or bluish kind of range, um, to kind of fake that it's like nighttime. There are like so many different ways to play around with lightning. Lightning, I mean, like yes, sculpting is important. If you want to make realistic sculpting is very important. But music is important. But lightning is very important. And if I look at the lamp, for example, that I turned on right now, I can see that I made my standard not correct. And I see that directly. Like if I go into the sculpt, I can already tell that this is not like anything correct. So I'm going to, because the light is bouncing really strangely on it. So we're going to, I'm not going for pitch black, um, because that will be like not, never go like to this side. Don't do it. If you want to use like a black tint or a white tint or a red tint, never go to full color. I think that Johnny Beach once says it in the streams as well, and he is right because like he knows because like he's coming from um, that world, like always using tint of a color, and that's because like bright tints, if you're using 100, let's say 100% of a color, it's for the human eye that's very painful, and that's because of our cones inside our eyes. We have like an RGB cones. We have like red, green, blue in our cones in our eyes. And if you put like 100% yellow or 100% green or 100% red, it will be very painful for the eye to watch and to see it. And a lot of people, like especially like beginners, and don't really know this stuff, which I can understand because like you haven't really been told about this, so I can understand. But to test something, to test something is used with text. Like if you're not sure if your color is too bright, or if you're not sure if the color is correct, put text over the color, a white text over the color that you're using. If you can read that text without getting hurtful eyes, or without thinking like, oh, this looks, oh, I got brain freeze or anything, then the color is too bright. So that's a really good way to like to figure things out. So always pick a color range. But I think if you have watched, and I think that's like months ago, if you watched, I think it was Johnny Beats who said that. Um, yeah, don't do it. I will say it one more again. Don't do it. Please don't do it. If you want to use black, go for a darker tint of black. All right, so yeah, this is how I made my realistic room. At least like this is like how I did it. If you like the assets that not only in here but also in the original file, go to my. I'm going to exit it by the way, and I'm not going to save it. Don't save. But if you really like the assets, go to my Dreamverse profile and search for the collection housing items. Well, for you guys, a little bit easier to find because you don't have to scroll so many. So here we have like housing assets, and here you can have like everything that I've been using. I have made it all for you guys, so you can use it as well if there's something you like, or just using something from someone else, or maybe create your own stuff. I really hope that yeah, that you like learned something today um, about placing stuff, about lightning, about proportions in everything, um, like using grid or not, or when use grid and when don't use grid. I also want to make another video, maybe about other stuff in the future. If you guys really like this stuff, or too much or to listen to, even though it's 1.5 hour almost in here, just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That was a quite long video. Maybe I will cut something down eventually, but yeah, that's doesn't really matter for you guys because then it's already been done. All right, bye bye everyone. Dreams on.